What is going on? Welcome to the Second of Strength podcast, wherever you're at. I'm grateful you're here. Grateful you're spending your valuable seconds with me. Disclaimer today, if it sounds like there is an earthquake going on in this audio recording, I promise it is not an earthquake. They are moving like mounds of dirt right outside this window where I'm sitting in my basement. And so who knows, at any point it might sound like the world is shaking and shattering, and it is not. I'm going to be okay, I promise. But if it is an earthquake, I'll let you know. But I'm grateful you're here. This episode, and by the way, if this helps you, please share it with someone. I hope that we can help as many people as possible. It also helps me if you take 1 second, just pause this and go and leave a rating and maybe a review wherever you're listening. But today we're going to talk about something that has really been on my mind a lot. And as I work with teenagers and think about teenagers, and I talk with a lot of people in the world, I think that this one thing is the answer to a lot of problems that we are facing. And because And that one thing, just spoiler alert, that one thing is resilience. I think the more resilient we are in this life, the more we are going to move forward and be happy and be successful and achieve the things we want to achieve. But it all comes down to our ability to be resilient. And I'd say that because I've just talked to too many people who are struggling. And here's the reality is we need to develop emotional strength in an emotional world. This world is emotional. We can't control so many of the things that are happening in the world, that are happening to us, but we always get to control what we want to do. And so I think that starts with getting really purposeful in our development of resilience. Because here's the thing. Everything, when we think about mindset, when we think about mental health, when we think about these types of things, and if you're listening to this, I think you're listening because these things are important to you. Mental health and mindset is important. And I want to equip you with the right mindset to move forward in your life and be productive and be happy. And so, but mindset takes practice. It is the deliberate practice of setting your mind. And so we can't just believe, or I don't know, maybe some people are just naturally resilient. I think that's probably true, but most people are not. Most people have to develop how to be resilient, how to bounce back, how to overcome the difficulties, how to overcome the challenges. And if you're a teenager listening to this right now, there's a lot of challenges. You are going through middle school or high school, and there's a lot of stuff happening in middle school and high school. And if you're beyond that, you're in college, then there's a lot going on in college as well, right? You've got classes, you've got tests, you've got relationships, you've got a lot of things going on. And if you're beyond that and you're a parent or you're an adult, then you have a whole different world of problems that you're facing every single day. And I get that and I recognize that. But today I want to help you build your mindset and build a resilient framework that can help you get to where you want to go. I don't know if you ever saw, I don't know where you're at on the Rocky movies. I don't know if I've even seen them all, but the newer Rocky movie, not the Creeds, which are really good, but the newer Rocky movie, he has this quote in there. You may have heard it. I think it's a very famous quote, but he just said, "The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows." And you got to do it in the Rocky voice and whatever, Philly and all those things. But the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It is very mean. It is a very mean and nasty place, and it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit. It's very poor English. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. But there's a piece there that to me stands out above all the rest. And it's at the beginning when he says, "It is a very mean and nasty place. The world is a very mean and nasty place, and it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it." And from now on, we're not going to let it. We're not going to let life keep us down. We're not going to let the things that happen to us keep us down. We're not going to let the crap that is happening on a daily basis in this world that we can't control dictate what we are going to do with our life. Because resiliency is making a choice, using the word if, and not letting it keep us down. Resiliency is a choice that you get to make right now to stand up and move forward. Resiliency is a choice that you are not going to let anything that is trying to steal your happiness. That stops now. but it starts with a choice, and you get to make that choice. But the one thing I want to that really sets this apart today, and I hope this helps you, is this came from Roger Federer. He says a 15-second methodology to resilience, to emotional resilience. And I think it's brilliant. And if you think about tennis and you think about Roger Federer, who is arguably the greatest tennis player of all time, but you think about it, you are going to have good shots and you're going to have bad shots. In life, you are going to have good things and you're going to have bad things. You're going to have good moments and bad moments, good days, bad days. You are going to have this. This is a microcosm of our life. There is good stuff and there is bad stuff. The question is, are we going to let the bad stuff dictate what happens next? And so Roger Federer has this 15-second methodology to moving on after a point. Whether the point is good, whether the point is bad, whether he's happy about it, whether he's disappointed about it, it doesn't really matter. This is what he goes through in 15 seconds in between points. And so if you are struggling, I want you to work on these 3 steps. And it really does take 15 seconds. This is the 1 Second of Strength podcast, right? Seconds matter. I always talk about this. So these 15 seconds can truly change your life. So here's what he does. From 0 to 5, he feels and embraces the emotion of what just happened. So he may have gotten an ace. He may have had a great shot. He may have gotten scored on. There could have been anything that happened in that last point. He takes 5 seconds and recognizes it. He feels it. He embraces it. And I think this is so important because progress starts here. Progress starts right where you are. And it starts by feeling and accepting the emotion, whatever that emotion is you're having. Because I want you to know that those emotions that you're feeling, they're real. Whether you're feeling anxious, whether you're feeling overwhelmed, whether you're feeling sad, whether you're feeling upset, whether you're feeling frustrated, whatever you are feeling, it is a real feeling. But it doesn't have to become you. It doesn't have to become who you are. You don't have to embody or embrace that feeling. It doesn't have to stay. And the beauty of it is you have the choice to choose to move forward. You have the choice every single time you have an emotion to accept it, feel it, and move from it. And I always say, I believe that happiness is a choice. I think some people don't agree with that, but I truly believe that happiness is a choice. And yes, there's people who are sad. Yes, there's people who have chronic depression. Yes, there's people who have all of these things, and that's not the point. The point is that happiness is a choice because you have a choice in that you get to choose what you do. You get to choose your daily habits. You get to choose the things that you do on a daily basis, on a moment-by-moment basis that can put you in a position for happiness. And so if you're not feeling happy, then change something. Find your 1 second of strength and change something. Go outside, get dressed for the day, do something different. Because even I think on the last episode, I can't remember, but I talk about habits are a choice. Habits have memory. And so we need to change something if we are constantly getting in the same routine. But the first 5 seconds, Roger Federer's methodology is he wants you to feel and embrace that emotion. Recognize it, accept it. But don't dwell on it, right? Back to Rocky, if you let it keep you down. Well, whatever those emotions are, whatever just happened, we're not going to let those emotions keep us down. We're going to move on from it. So the next 5 to 10 seconds now, Roger Federer says he relaxes, and that means a mental and physical relaxation. I think this is a critical piece of coming back down to neutral. If emotions are high, I always say, if emotions are high, logic is low. We need to bring down our emotions so that logic can then be high. We need to bring down our emotions so that we can then begin to think clearly and move forward. And so take a minute, 5 seconds, feel and embrace those emotions. The next 5 seconds, let's mentally calm down from them. Let's pause, let's reflect, let's take a break mentally and physically so that we can then move into the next 5 seconds. From 10 to 15 seconds, Roger Federer prepares for the next point. What has to happen next? What is the next thing that he needs to do? Whether that is a serve, whether that is a return, whether that is whatever that may be. And so for us, if life is getting hard, if you are overwhelmed, if you are anxious, then feel that. Come back to neutral. Pause, relax, get mentally and physically in a good state very quickly. and then move on from there. What do you need to do next? What's the one thing you need to work on next? What's the one thing that is most important? Because certainly if you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, that's because we're piling a lot of stuff on our plate. We're piling so much on that it gets really hard to determine and see how we're going to move forward. How are we going to get beyond all of these things? How are we going to push beyond when we're overwhelmed and buried in all of the things? Well, it starts by one step. It starts by, one simple movement. And that's all it takes, right? I think that sometimes the smallest step in the right direction is the biggest step in your life. And I think that happens because when we take that small step, it opens the door to take the next step and then the next step. And too often in a world where so much is coming at us, we get overwhelmed and we choose to not take any steps. We choose to let life keep us down permanently, and I can't accept that. And you can't accept it either. Because life is about progress. Happiness is about progress. Life is about growth. It's about moving forward. It's about stepping into your potential. And we step into our potential when we take that next step forward, when we decide to move, when we don't let life keep us down. The hard hits, the difficulties, the challenges, the emotions, the difficult things. So that is resilience. Like if I had to like summarize resilience in a nutshell, it's a choice to stand up. It's a choice to fight for yourself. It's a choice to not let anything that happens that you can or you can't control dictate what you're going to do next. You get to choose that, and you get to become the person you get to become because you're going to stand up and keep fighting forward. So, and the path is simple. In 15 seconds, you can do it. Feel and embrace the things the emotions that you're feeling. Relax, get back to neutral, and then prepare for the next point. That simple framework, those 3 steps that happen in 15 seconds will enable you to stand up and keep fighting and not let the little things in life or the big things in life keep you down. And I know that you're worth that. So wherever you are, I hope this helps you. Share this with someone. I don't know who needs this today, but I felt on my heart that it was important. And so share it with someone. If you could go and leave a rating and review for the show, it really helps me, helps this get out to more people. It just takes a couple seconds to do that. And then, and if you do share this on Instagram, tag me at @RealTannerClark, and I'll give you a little shout out for that. So, but I'll leave you the same way I always leave you. Go find your 1 second of strength and be happy.